Hello, this is the Lost Gamer bringing you episode 4 of our Engineer Let's Play. Last episode we started the level 10 personal story. We'll finish that up here today at the beginning and then continue on with exploring the Plains of Ashford. Something I'll start doing in these episodes is when I'm running from one point to the other and I'm not really fighting anything, I'll just skip ahead, and so that's why I'm going to do this episode and just skip right ahead to the next part. Now we'll continue to use our ghost bore musket that we've already made and tested out. We chose the Blood Legion to use our ghost bore musket in the cannons, and we'll go to this next chapter called Deadly Force.
Remember that time when we were kids and Hal tried to convince me to try out for cannonball catcher?
There's some more witty commentary by Dinky there.
Welcome to the party. Tribune Brimstone is here to observe, and War Master Lebowski is marshaling his forces as we speak. It's Ghost Bore Cannon time.
Agreed. But we need to take out Lebowski himself. Duke Barradin taught us that ghost defenses fall apart without their leader.
I've already planned for that. I've got a squad ready for insertion into the catacombs to run a search and destroy on Lebowski. This is Samara. She'll be leading the catacomb squad. You're on the cannon providing cover fire. Clear her a path to Lebowski, and her team will do the rest.
And shoot fast, Maker. I'm going straight for the War Master's throat. And I don't like to wait.
Just give the cannon time to reload, and you won't see a single ghost between you and your target.
So glad to be
Follow
here.
me!
Ballistically, this will be a day to remember.
Alright, so it looks like we're going to get into our cannon and start
Stand
shooting
by,
some
Maker.
ghosts.
Get ready to rain death. On my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark!
I do like how the Charr story is staying consistent. I'm an Iron Legion soldier, I make things, and so I've made this weapon. I've integrated it with the Blood Legion, but I did have a chance to integrate it with the Ash Legion. So it shows some synergistic effects and how the Charr are used as an army as a whole and how we're working together. So I think the story is pretty good. It stayed consistent with me being an Iron Legion soldier and doing those Iron Legion things, as well as working with the other forces to optimize and synergize the army as a whole. Just got 500 ghost kills. It's like cheating when you got a cannon like this, but I'll take it.
Damn it! Samara went too far too soon again! Cannon can't support her inside the catacomb. It'll bring the entire thing down on her stupid hard head.
If I can't fire the cannon, I can find Samara and her squad. And I'll make sure Lebowski is slain.
I'm not letting you get killed for Samara's stupidity. Tribune Goreblade would break all my limbs and hang me by my tail.
I'm not asking permission. I'm making sure one gung-ho soldier doesn't ruin my weapon's first combat outing. I'm going in. If I don't come back out soon, open fire with the cannon and level everything in range.
And you call my soldiers gung-ho? Fine. I'll hold off firing for as long as I can. Good luck, Maker. Now get going.
Imagine that a gung-ho Blood Legion soldier female who's got something to prove to all the Blood Legion males and everyone else to show that she's better than everybody else. So it's a pretty good realistic story, I guess, when it comes to how hard-headed the Blood Legion would be and females having to prove themselves and things like that. So I think the story's going pretty well so far. Now we gotta go in here and show that our weapon is pretty good, and as well go in here and save this soldier's butt, because that's what we do as the hero. We go in there and we fix all the mistakes that everyone else has made, but not only that, we made a really good weapon, and now we're going above and beyond by saving this other person which is outside our scope. So it's pretty good and shows that you're pretty determined. So I think this is going pretty well for me and a storyline because it shows your character has purpose and depth, things such as that. Flamethrower seems to be doing a pretty good job of burning the ghost down. And it's pretty good with the condition damage that I've put on the armor so far. So I'm not disappointed with how the flamethrowing build is with the dual pistols. So I can see how this can be a pretty fun build if you, especially at the higher levels. Maybe it'll be even better, but we'll just see. I'm surprised that that soldier's mad at us because it doesn't make sense to be upset when we're coming in here and saving her. But I guess that goes along with the story and her personality, that she's pretty hard-headed and she's pretty difficult to deal with, so that's pretty annoying. But at least we're going in here and saving the day. Look at that, just got for the Legion for completing this part of the storyline, so that's pretty cool.
Thanks. Now let's get back to Galena.
It's about time she showed some gratitude for saving her life. I mean, we came out there and we went above and beyond just to pull her out of a tight spot.
I love it when you do that.
You want something?
Lebowski's down and the ghosts are dispersing, just like you said. Now I owe you for the cannon and for saving Samara.
I didn't want to be saved. And I don't like owing people my life. Why didn't you just fire on my position?
Because I don't like wasting ammunition. And if we fired on every blood soldier who charged in without thinking, there'd be none of you left.
Watch it, Maker. Blood Legion gratitude only goes so far. In fact, I'm gonna settle our debt right now. Samara has no warband. If you want her, she's yours. I'll formally reassign her to your warband and we'll call it even.
I can always use a skilled recruit, provided she can follow orders. From now on, Samara, you fight when I say, only when I say. Clear?
Oh, I can follow orders. If I have to follow yours to prove it, I will. Get ready, Maker. Your Iron Warband is getting some much-needed fresh blood.
Outstanding. And you're about to take a crash course in following orders. Fall in, soldier. We're moving out.
Alright, Deadly Forces completed. We got a Black Lion key. We got 50 luck from a letter from Ritlock. A bag full of goodies. And some boots that look better than the ones I'm wearing. And we also got 1 silver and 40 copper. And don't forget, when you get new gear, you can customize the stats most of the time if they do not have stats. So don't forget to do that or you'll be losing out on some stats and some damage. Not to mention the annoying pop-up will keep telling you that you have gear that is uncustomized. Alright, now we'll continue clearing the map and completing Plains of Ashford.
The German Priory is searching for artifacts in the ruins of Ascalon City, but the human ghosts that roam the area stand in our way. We do what we can to stop them from attacking us, but it is only a matter of time before they reappear, and we are only so many.
Alright, the first thing we'll do is we'll probably head up over here and finish this hero point that's right beside us, because we always like to get the hero points and get those points for being able to do a lot more damage with our character and getting those trees. So we'll do that, we'll get that hero point, and then we'll continue on with doing some hearts.
I'm feeling generous. I think I'll find someone who wants a lesson in Blood Legion ferocity.
Alright, sitting here using the dual pistols with the engineer against a formidable foe. It's always good to use the different weapons. Looks like we have a necromancer helping us out too, so we'll be able to take them down a little quicker than normal. And it's always fun to play with other players when they're around as well. Now we'll skip on over to the heart to our right. here we are at the heart. So here you can get a rifle from this heart person, and then you can trap some monsters, the minotaurs or the drakes, or you can go up top and fight in the gladiator pit. I would suggest just going out and trapping, as that seems to be a bit quicker than fighting things in the gladiator pit, as you have to wait for certain intervals and things such as that. So we'll go down here and we'll start capturing the drakes. We'll also get this waypoint down here as we're capturing the drakes, and it's a pretty cool weapon. You'll see once we start trapping some people, the animation for the trap is pretty unique, and it's pretty awesome that ArenaNet would have something cool like that in there to, you know, spice up the game a little bit, make it a little bit different. And I think a lot of capturing quests in Guild Wars 2 have this animation, so it just makes it a lot more fun. Yeah, so let's keep capturing some guys and get this heart. A lot of mistakes I see people making when they're doing these capturing quests is number 4 is our capture skill. It's a net skill, so you have to get them below 50% health and then use that number 4 capture skill. And a lot of people don't realize that when they first start the quest, so they get a little frustrated with it. But don't forget that once they're below 50% health, when you shoot that net, that will capture them, and then you can continue on capturing such as that. You also have a knockback skill and a skill that does quite a bit of damage and jumps you, and you can bleed them as well. So it's a lot more fun than you think. You just have to, you know, read the skills, which I think that's what this event is all about, is teaching you to read the skills, to see what they do, and then being able to apply that out in, you know, the rest of the game with your unique skills for your class and your character. So a little bit about Guild Wars history and lore. The oldest records of Tyria date back to approximately about 10,000 BE, and the estimated date for the Great Giant's extinction at the claws of the Elder Dragons, which is what Guild Wars 2 is about, is taking out the Elder Dragons. And this was during the last known time of the Awakening. The only known surviving sentient races of this time are the Dwarves, Forgotten, Jotun, Mursat, and Seers. Not much is known about the next 8,000 years or so, and then you start getting into Guild Wars 1. Although it is known that the Mursat had betrayed the other 4 races and went into hiding from the Elder Dragons, which Guild Wars 1 has a lot to do with the Mursat. I definitely encourage you to play Guild Wars 1 if you are bored and you get the chance, because Guild Wars Prophecies, the original one, plus Eye of the North can get you a lot of achievements toward this game as well. So they're kind of synergistic. You can get God Walking Amongst Mere Mortals if you complete a whole bunch of those achievements in Guild Wars 1. And the stories actually, you know, work together based on the lore and the history of Guild Wars. I'm honestly surprised that dwarves are not a playable race in this game, as you actually do fight dwarves in Guild Wars 1, and they're known as one of the races that survived from the Giants' extinction, so you would figure they would have been one of the races, but I guess Guild Wars 2 didn't want to pull something that would seem like they were copying World of Warcraft or something like that, most likely. But anyways, back to the Mursat betrayal. The exact details were unknown about it, though implications show that that's when the Mursat and the Seers warred, with the Seers being brought near extinction in the aftermath of that war. Only Dwarven legends and Jotun stelae remain as records of this time, which stelae are like stone tablet carvings that depict pictures, and they might have words and stuff. Jotun lore also make mention of an age of giants that occurred after the Elder Dragons began hibernating, where the various giant races, including the Jotun and the Norn, ruled over and guided Tyria, though the credibility of this is quite uncertain. But the Jotun and the Norn are pretty giant people, even though there are a few giants in the game that are bigger than them. Now we'll head over and get this Vista. So if you're looking to know how to get to some of the vistas in here, you can watch this video, or on my channel I have vistas that it's just the vista video. So if you're looking for a quick way to get to a vista, you don't have to go through all this. The vista videos will be like a quick less than a minute, unless of course it's a vista that takes over a minute to get to. So feel free to look at those if you just need help getting to a vista. Alright, back to the lore. Sometime after the fall of the Elder Dragons, the Charr race united under the Con and conquered the lands around them. They were said to travel north, then east along the Shiver Peak Mountains, and ending in the lands known, or the lands now known as Ascalon. During this time, they warred with the Forgotten at the mountainous edge of the Crystal Sea. At some point prior to 786 BE, which BE stands for before the Exodus of the Gods, so at some time before 786 BE, the six gods arrived on Tyria at the Artisan Waters in Or from the mists, and later brought humanity to the world. It is said that the six gods brought the Forgotten to the world as well. However, this is now questionable given their dealings with the Elder Dragons. Regardless of their origins, the Forgotten were tasked as being caretakers as the six gods built Ara and terraformed the land of Ara. So as we can tell about Guild Wars lore as of right now, the Charr were actually on the Earth well before humans were. We haven't heard about any of the other races yet and things like that, and there were actually races on the Earth like the Giants, the Jotun, and the Norn before the six gods appeared as of thus far in the lore. But it appears that the six gods did make the Forgotten, so if they were already there, then that means they were there before, but it was before recorded history. Though there are conflicts between whether they did make the Forgotten or not. Regardless, something with the Forgotten and the gods is there, so it shows proof that perhaps the six gods were there beforehand, probably before the Elder Dragons maybe, or maybe not, and maybe they formed things, maybe they didn't, maybe the gods came later. Not quite clear, but we do know that Charr were here long before humans were, though. Now we'll come in here and take this hero point. I'm always happy to get the hero points, even though we're discovering 100% of the map. Hero points are always good because it helps boost you up so you can get more skills and do more damage and things such as that. Although Dwayna and Melandru of the Six Gods encouraged humanity to be peaceful, Balthazar sought to make the world the humans' domain. And with his guidance, humanity spread. Currently, 687 BE marks the oldest records of humanity, being the time they arrived on the northern shores of Cantha and established the Empire of the Dragon in 510 BE. Which is pretty cool because the new expansion, End of Dragons, will take place there in Cantha, where they had formed the Empire of the Dragons in 510 BE. So that's going to be pretty cool coming up. There's actually lore that relates to it and such like that. In 205 BE, humans arrived in Tyria and Alona, establishing two kingdoms, Or and the Primeval Dynasty. Over the decades, humanity would continue to spread, pushing into Kryta and Ascalon and claiming them for their own. So as we've learned from our lore, the Charr actually had control of Ascalon before the humans did, and then the humans came and took Ascalon from them, and then the Charr came back in Guild Wars 1 and took Ascalon back from the humans. In BE1, Abaddon utilized the Seer-made Bloodstone to spread powerful magic to all races of Tyria. Although magic had existed prior to this, it had been in a much weaker state. However, the ability to use magic brought races to war with each other and caused mass destruction and death. To bring an end to the suffering, the human king of Tyria, King Doric, traveled to the city of the gods, Ara, and pleaded with the gods to take back their gift of magic. To do this, the gods took the bloodstone and divided it into 5 large pieces in Ara, although smaller shards were also made from this. Each large stone presented one of the 4 schools of magic: aggression, denial, destruction, and preservation, with the last being a keystone required should one ever want to reunite all 5 stones. To finish sealing the magic, the gods used King Doric's blood and then threw the 5 stones into the largest volcano of the Ring of Fire, which is called Abaddon's Mouth. Abaddon, however, disagreed with the limiting magic and rebelled against the other 5 gods. He transformed the Marganite civilization into ethereal demonic beings and waged war, assaulting the gates of heaven. However, Abaddon was defeated and cast down at the mouth of torment. The crystal sea's floor rose and created the crystal desert and the desolation. The defeated god and his followers were imprisoned in the realm of torment, and the 5 gods destroyed all records of him on Tyria, going so far as to sink his Orion temple and pull the Temple of the Six into the realm of torment with him. Having caused cataclysmic damage, the remaining 5 gods left for the mist, legends saying they went to create new worlds. This event was called the Exodus of the Gods. Next was the reign of humans. Historical records after the Exodus primarily focus upon humanity. Even since 100 BE, the known world of Tyria, Elona, and Cantha was under the domain of the human nations Ascalon, Or, Crida, Elona, and the Empire of the Dragon. 2 years after the Exodus, Or became an independent nation. Humanity continued to spread, eventually forcing the Forgotten into the Crystal Desert in 174 AE, which is after Exodus, where the latter became caretakers to Glint and guardians of the Trials of Ascension. Over the following century, after the Exodus, human culture established guilds, which became powerful groups in the nations. They began to hold more power, being the enforcers of laws and regulations in whatever means they desired. In time, their influence began to overlap, bringing conflicts. But that was not until the volcano and the Ring of Fire erupted, sending the 5 bloodstones across the land. The magic they contained seeped into the land and air around them. With greed and the desire of power in mind, the guilds attempted to claim these bloodstones. Because so much power was in the hands of guilds, the kings of Ascalon, Crita, and Or were unable to prevent conflict, and the First Guild War began, raging for decades. In time, Ascalon and Crita were embroiled into the war. Only Or remained outside the Guild War, preferring to remain neutral and peaceful. In whole, there were 3 guild wars. When the first 2 began and ended are unknown. 221 AE marks the beginning of what Canthans call the Age of the Hedgehog. It was when Canthans made official contact and trade with the northern continents of Tyria and Elona. In 300 AE, Crida became an official colony of Elona. Although humans had lived on Crida since the time of King Doric, this time marked the beginning of the human-centaur conflict as humans had spread further out and into centaur lands. Crida gained its independence 58 years later. 452 AE saw the first fall of a human nation. The Scarab Plague began, sweeping through the Isle of Istan and wiping out the primeval kings. After the Scarab Plague subsided, the Great Dynasty was established until its fall after 127 years. The Great Dynasty was followed by Elona's darkest times, the Shattered Dynasty era. Although wars raged on and leaderships changed, the human nation saw little historical effect until 851 AE. Lord Audrin, through sacrifices and powerful rituals, became the first mortal to open portals into the mists. Although the portals lay hidden in dangerous lands, his eventual death brought new sport to both man and spirit. Tournaments of glory held within the Hall of Heroes. In 860 AE, the Lich Palawa Joko emerged from the desolation as a threat to Alona with his awakened army. Striking in unsuspected locations with lightning-fast raids, he caught the defenders of Vavi and other provinces by surprise and conquered city after city. By 862 AE, the Lich faced the last remnants of a resistance led by War Marshal Tureosa and Jahe Bluffs. During the resulting Battle of Jahe, the resistance fought against Joko's overwhelming army, and it took Ture playing to Joko's vanity and challenging him to a duel to defeat the Lich and send Joko's army into disarray. Though beaten, Joko could not be slain. Ture's bodyguards used powerful magic to bind the Lich within a great tomb, and eventually built a huge stone plinth, commemorating the victory while forming the Order of Whispers to watch over the tomb. There, Joko would lie forgotten, trapped with his hatred and weakness. As centuries passed, however, Joko's legend would live on, and many villainous individuals attempted to commune with the spirit of the Scourge of Vavi. 2 decades after Aldrin first opened portals to the mists, Abaddon began his plot to return and bring forth Nightfall to merge to the world of Tyria and the realm of torment. In 870 AE, the Flame Legion of the Charr discovered the Titans, agents of Abaddon, at Rangmur, worshipping them as gods of their own. Bethia, Havocbringer, rebelled against this new worship, raising an underground army to disrupt the Shaman caste and their new fate, but she was defeated and sacrificed to the new gods. In turn, the Flame Legion banned all females from fighting in battle, forcing them to domesticated tasks at homes and on farms. So here we get a little look at the Charr and the development of the Flame Legion and things like that. And we get a good look into Guild Wars 1 where the Titans come in and how the Flame Legion worship them and stuff like that. So if you do play Guild Wars 1, you will have a chance to actually see a little bit of this little lore. Same thing with Nightfall. That is actually an expansion in Guild Wars 1, and you'll be able to go to the Realm of Torment and things such as that as well. So there's a lot of good lore coming into this that works in the Guild Wars 1, and so I think it'll start moving into the realm of Guild Wars 2 here as well. As we're ending up our time here, because I want to cut these videos down to around 30 minutes, we'll talk about Shiro in the next one and the decline of humanity and things like that, and then maybe we'll start into the Charr lore and start talking about the Charr and how they work as a whole and things like that. It's because I'm playing a Charr character, and we'll start going from there, but we'll start getting hot and heavy once we get through the overall lore of Guild Wars and move into the lore for the Charr. This is The Lost Cause, and thanks for watching.